Okay, try and picture this. It's one of those nights, just pitch black, heavy somehow, and the wind is just, well, howling, rain hammering down on everything.
Yeah, like it's trying to get in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're alone. You know that feeling. When a storm just cuts you off, makes every little sound seem bigger, scarier.
Amplifies everything. Makes you feel exposed.
Right. So tonight we're sharing 3 stories. These are true accounts from people who had really unsettling things happen right in the middle of a thunderstorm.
It taps into something primal, I think. That loss of control during severe weather. You're reminded how much you rely on, just 4 walls and a roof.
Definitely. Okay, so our first story. It happens in a warehouse. Big place. Full of expensive tech. And there's just one security guard. Overnight shift.
Right. A pretty standard quiet job, usually. Until the weather hits.
Yeah, that contrast. The mundane job versus this chaotic storm brewing outside kind of sets the stage.
It makes the ordinary feel uncertain.
Totally. So the guard's doing his rounds. Storm's really raging now. Hard to see anything outside. And then this faint beep.
An alarm.
Yeah, a backdoor latch sensor. Just a quick beep. He checks the monitors, sees nothing, goes to the door, disarms it, looks around the alley. Empty.
So maybe just the wind, the rain.
That's what he figures, like a glitch caused by the storm, but he still has to write it up, log the event. Standard procedure.
But even that little thing.
Yeah.
It plants a seed, doesn't it? That little bit of what if.
It does, and it doesn't take long for that seed to, grow. He's barely started writing the report back in his office, and then bam, this massive thud.
Oh, wow. Like something falling?
Huge, echoes through the whole warehouse. His heart just starts pounding. He goes out into the main area listening, but all he can hear is the rain, just hammering down.
So he investigates.
Yeah, cautiously. Starts sweeping the building, checking the aisles, looking for maybe a pallet that tipped over, something like that. He gets near the front, and the sound of the rain gets louder.
Louder.
Because the main loading door, the big roll-up one, it's wide open.
No way.
Yeah. And there are puddles inside, on the floor, rain blowing in. Someone definitely forced their way in while he was checking the back.
Okay, that's terrifying. Knowing someone's inside with you in that huge dark space.
Exactly. Pure fear hits him. He just sprints back to the security office, slams the door, locks it, hits the panic button immediately.
The smart move. Don't confront them. Just get secure.
Right. And while he's waiting for the police, terrified, he hears a couple more muffled bumps from out in the warehouse. Then silence.
Waiting must have been agony.
Must have been. So the police arrive, finally. They do a full search, and yeah, they find a guy hiding behind some stacked equipment.
Did he steal anything? What was he doing?
They cuff him, and here's the really chilling part. He had a hammer on him.
A hammer. Okay, that's not just a simple break-in.
No. And as the police are walking him out, past the security office, the guy stops, turns his head, and just stares at the guard. Locks eyes with him.
What kind of stare?
Just cold, blank. Utterly chilling, the guard said. No anger, no fear, just nothing.
That's deeply unsettling. The lack of discernible motive.
And that was it. Police found out later the guy was really intoxicated, couldn't give any reason why he was there, why he broke in, why the hammer. Just happened.
Wow.
The guard, understandably, quit the night shift. Says even now, when it rains hard at night, he gets that feeling back, that vulnerability.
I can imagine. The storm becomes a trigger. That random, potentially violent encounter, amplified by the weather, it leaves a mark. The not knowing why is often the worst part.
Okay, let's shift gears. Our second story. Maybe a bit more relatable for some. A sleepover.
Ah, yes. The classic setup.
2 friends, they're 14, home alone, parents are out of town, and of course, there's a massive thunderstorm raging outside.
Right. Initially, it's probably exciting. Feeling independent. The storm adding drama.
Totally. They're probably playing video games, watching movies, just hanging out, and then a knock. Sharp, loud, at the back door.
During that storm, who'd be knocking?
Exactly their thought. Then a man's voice calls out. It's muffled by the rain, hard to understand, but he's asking for help.
Oh, that's tough. 14 years old, alone. Do you help? Do you ignore it?
They're scared, torn, don't want to open the door to a stranger, especially then. But also worried maybe someone really needs help, and they're hesitant to call the police. Maybe they'd get in trouble for being alone or something. Teenager logic.
Yeah, that fear of getting into trouble versus potential danger, a real dilemma.
So one of the boys, he creeps really carefully into the kitchen, peeks out the back window, trying not to be seen.
What does he see?
Through the rain-streaked glass, it's foggy, dark. He just sees a shape, a large figure standing there by the door. Can't make out features, just big, vague outline.
Just a silhouette that's almost worse, the unknown.
He tells his friend. They whisper nervously for a bit. Then they realize it's quiet outside again. No more knocking, no voice. He peeks again. The figure's gone. Gone. They listen for ages. Nothing. So they start trying to rationalize it. Maybe it was the wind. Maybe they imagined it. They go back to the living room, trying to shake it off.
But you can't really shake that off, can you? The mood's changed.
Oh yeah, the vibe is totally different. Uneasy. They try to watch TV, distract themselves. One of them gets up to get the remote from the coffee table, turns back towards the couch, and just stops. Frozen.
Why? What is it?
There's a face pressed right up against the living room window, inches away.
Oh my God.
Staring right at them. Wide eyes, like wild-looking eyes. Rain plastering what looks like long hair against the glass.
No, that's pure nightmare fuel.
He can't even move. Just total shock. But his friend sees it too, sees the face. One of them screams. They both just react. Pure instinct. Turn and run, scramble away from the window to the other side of the house.
I would too, just run.
As they're running, they hear this horrible thud against the window glass, like the person tried to hit it or push through it. Then silence again.
Do they get in?
They didn't wait to find out. They frantically called the friend's parents, told them what happened. Parents called the police immediately.
And the police? Did they find anything?
They found footprints. Clear, muddy footprints right there in the flower bed below the window. Proof someone was standing there looking in.
Wow, so it was real.
Absolutely real. But they never found the guy. Never identified him. Think about that. Someone was outside watching them. How long had he been there before they saw him? At the back door, then the window.
And what did he want? Just to scare them? Or worse?
Exactly. The not knowing. It's a horrible thought, being watched like that in your own home, feeling safe one minute, terrified the next.
That idea of the home being violated, it's a powerful fear. The window, usually a way to see out, becomes the entry point for terror.
Right. Okay, our last story tonight, this one takes us somewhere completely different. Really remote.
Okay.
We're near the Yukon border. Deep wilderness. Someone traveling solo in an RV. Looking for that peace, you know. Solitude.
Got it. Very isolated setting.
Yeah. It's summer, but the weather's been tricky. Lots of rain, on and off, sometimes really heavy downpours.
So beautiful but unpredictable.
Exactly. One afternoon, the travelers inside the RV, making lunch. It's raining steadily outside. And they hear a shuffling sound.
An animal, maybe?
Could be. But then it gets clearer. It turns into footsteps. Definitely footsteps coming towards the RV.
Okay, that's immediately weird out there. You wouldn't expect company.
Right. They get nervous, peek through a curtain, and see a man's back as he's walking away, just heading off into the dense woods.
Did he look like a hiker or camper?
No, that was the strange thing. No backpack, no gear, didn't look dressed for the wilderness, just a guy walking into the trees for no apparent reason. It felt wrong.
An intrusion into that solitude. Unsettling.
Very. They stay alert the rest of the day, keep looking out, but don't see him again. Then night comes, and the rain comes back. Hard. Thunder, lightning, the works.
Setting the scene again.
Yeah. Hours later, they're trying to sleep, and they hear it again. Footsteps.
Oh no. Coming closer.
Coming right up to the RV, and they stop. Right outside the door.
Right at the door. That's deliberate.
Hearts pounding, right. They carefully, quietly look through the curtain again. Nothing. Nobody there. Check the other windows. Empty.
Maybe the wind this time.
Yeah.
Paranoia setting in.
That's what they try to tell themselves. The storm's loud. Maybe it's just sounds, imagination. They manage to drift off eventually.
But with difficulty, I bet.
For sure. Next morning, the rain stopped. Just drizzling now. They open the RV door to step outside and freeze. Footprints in the mud. Right where they heard the steps stopping the night before.
Oh, chills. So it wasn't imagination.
Not at all. But then it gets worse. They look closer and see the grass beside the RV. It's flattened, leading right underneath the vehicle.
Underneath, someone was hiding under the RV.
That's the only explanation. Someone was right there under them while they were inside, maybe all night.
That is horrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrifying.
Now, the hesitation now. They jump in the driver's seat, start the engine, and just get out of there. Floor it down the dirt track.
I don't blame them. Get away!
And as they're driving away, they glance in the rearview mirror and see a figure lying flat in the grass right where the RV had been parked just seconds before.
Lying in wait. Oh my God.
Yeah, the implication is just terrifying. They were being watched, followed, stalked probably, hiding, waiting. For what? In the middle of nowhere, they barely got away.
That's the isolation factor turned up to 11. No one to hear you, no one to help, just you and whatever that was, the unseen watcher.
So yeah, 3 stories, very different situations, but that common thread, right? That vulnerability when it's dark, stormy, and something just happens, something you can't explain.
It really highlights how weather, like that, strips away our normal sense of security. The rain, the wind, the darkness, they obscure things, they make us jumpy, and they isolate us. It's like the perfect storm, literally, for fear to take hold.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, what is it about that combination? Severe weather and the unknown. Why does it feel so fundamentally unsettling?
Maybe it's that sensory overload you mentioned. Or maybe it just taps into a really old, deep-seated fear of the dark, of things you can't see or understand, amplified by the power of nature itself.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? That feeling we all get sometimes during a bad storm, especially if something feels off. Like the storm itself is changing the rules.
It certainly reminds us we aren't always in control. That there are forces and maybe presences that operate outside our understanding.
Well, thank you for joining us as we shared these pretty unsettling accounts tonight. Hopefully it gave you something to think about next time the thunder rolls.
And maybe double check those locks.
Yeah, maybe. If you found these stories chilling, do us a favor and like, share, and subscribe to Horror Docs. We'll have more unsettling tales for you.
Until next time, stay safe.
Farewell.